All right, you guys, we're going to talk about how to overcome objections here. And let's see. Okay, so I'm going to talk about objections. This is on the offline traditional network marketing approach. This is Henry NMSS, and this is a third or fourth section of the presentation here. And I've divided it up in different sections so that you can watch it separately. But let's talk about objections. As you notice, the beginning part of the prospecting section of this, we spend a lot of time really qualifying people and getting to know them, right? Because the more, if you find the right people and you present your opportunity to the right people with the right mentality and you know why they're looking, all right, then a lot of times you won't have a problem with objections. You won't, even if the objections come up, it'll really be easy to overcome them, okay? So, and there's really only about 6, 7 objections that are very, very common outside of, questions about products and services that you offer and things of that nature. So, number one, knowing why they looked at your opportunity makes a huge difference because you can always bring that back as the main anchor on why they really should take a serious look and be really open-minded to building a business with you. Okay? And the right prospect, given the right amount of information, would typically have little to no objections. Okay, objections from the wrong prospects will just cost you more headache, time, and money by trying to convince them. Now, I know some people, some leaders teach their group to really find a way to get them signed up and twist people's arm just about because they make money from every sign up. I don't suggest that. That's how you end up creating with a lot of negative. Okay, just be willing to go out there and look for the right people that's going to build your business with you. You're not going to waste your time. It's going to be, you might make an immediate $100 now, but I would rather find somebody and spend time with somebody that I not only generate $100 with, but will also help me build a team that will generate the $10,000 a month with. Okay, so I mean, who would you rather have? Forcing yourself into somebody and then they get all negative on you and ruin your reputation also at the same time, or you actually found people that are looking and they're grateful that you actually presented them with an opportunity and you help them succeed. Okay, so I don't spend time with the wrong prospects anymore. I used to, and it was just a waste of time. Okay, true objections doesn't mean they're not interested. An objection doesn't mean they're against or not interested at all. They just need some additional information. And you can, and again, it's listening to not only what they say and how they say it. If they say it in a negative, like you could tell they're, well, I don't have time. And they're just like, yeah, I just don't have time for it. I just don't have time. That to me just says, hey, I'm just totally not interested. When somebody, man, goes, somebody's interested, but they don't have time. Goes, man, goes, I'd love to be able to make that money, man. I don't know. I don't have time. I'm really busy. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. Then it's worth to me to spend time really overcoming those objections. Okay. Don't chase. Use the takeaway. All right. Yeah. Don't again. Be in posture. Okay. Don't be chasing the people around. Take it away from them too. All right. 3 words: felt, found. Powerful. Helps you help them relate to you right away, ease up their objection, and then help them realize in themselves how they may be able to be more open to figuring out the solution to their objection. Okay. Another way to also do that is to validate their objection, neutralize it, and then counteract it. Okay. Validating meaning just, okay, I understand and I agree. Neutralize, make them realize why it is important. Okay. And then counteract, show them the solution. All right. So let me talk about the 7 most common objections. Number 1, I always hear, is time. And it's amazing. People are so time broke nowadays. All right. So felt, found. We'll get a quick example here. Hey, Joe, I know exactly how you feel. Believe me. And I use myself a lot. You want to use yourself anyway. I know exactly how you feel. When I first looked at the industry, I might tell a little short story. Looked at the industry, man, I was extremely busy. And this is true. I had a full-time job working 50 hours a week. I have like 12 credits in school and college, so I was going to school from 5 in the afternoon until 10, and 4 nights a week. And then I was also, I was dating somebody at that time, so I was really busy. So, I really didn't have time. But you know what? Because I know exactly how you feel because that's how I felt when I was being introduced to the business. Okay, but you know what? Here's what I found out. And then I talk about, what I realized. I realized that my time is just being taken up by things that's keeping me busy that really doesn't mean that isn't going to help me accomplish my dream of making X amount of dollars, whatever that Y is. All right. So that's feel, felt, found. Or here's how you do the validate, neutralize, and counteract. Okay. Say something like, hey, I appreciate you for telling me that, and I know that you're a busy person. Okay. That's validating it. Then you want to neutralize it. But let me ask you this. How do you feel about that? What are you doing what you're doing has left you with no time with your family, friends, or even to relax or anything else for that matter. See, you're neutralizing it. You're making them realize. See, what you're doing right now, it's not giving you any time. And then you counteract. That's why you really should take a look at the business, because this business or the program a little bit deeper and take it seriously, because ultimately it's going to help you have more time and income that you desire. Okay. Now, if you can use somebody as an example, like an upline, or if yourself, like with me, it's like, one of the greatest thing for me is now I've been able to watch my kids, grow up. I take them to school. I make them breakfast. I sometimes pick them up from school. I'm home, and we get, and sometimes we might be up in a mountain skiing, and I can work from there too. It's I'm not controlled by that as much anymore. Okay, so things like that. So no time. This one, no interest. I don't spend too much time with. This is basically when I answered a question on this earlier. This is basically people that are like 1 through 5. They might see the presentation briefly and they immediately discard it, and they're just not totally interested. Depending on the person, if I feel that they are really good and they could be really good in the business, they just need to see it a little bit deeper, and I feel that sincerely, then, and I know that they are looking. Okay, if they're not looking, doesn't matter how good they are, it's not going to matter. But if they just say they're not interested because they're kind of assuming and they haven't really taken the time, then here's one way. Hey, I have no interest in your program. And he's assuming he already knows what you're going to tell him, right? Or what you're showing him. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me, because I didn't have the information that I know, I probably wouldn't be interested in it either. Okay, neutralize it. But at least you should know what you're not interested in and see if it might be for you after all. What if it was something that you might so good and you ended up passing up on it? Okay. Now, feel, felt, found. I feel, and I know exactly how you feel, Joe, because when I felt the same way when I was first being approached by my buddy, and he kind of just gave me some information, but he didn't really show it to me completely. But here's what I found out. As soon as I looked at it deeper, boom, my life has changed. And then, again, stories really help. Okay, analogy stories of your upline, stories for you, whatever. Okay. Now, the other objection, I don't get that a lot. Like I said, a lot of times, if right off the bat, oh man, I'm just not interested. And especially if they're kind of more on the, and you'll hear that from broke people a lot of time. Oh man, just not interested. Okay, they're not prospects. Okay, now, no money. And again, when you hear those objections, you want to listen not only to what they're saying, but not how they're saying it. Are they saying it in a way that you could tell they really are interested, but man, certain things are just stopping them. These certain objections are stopping them. Oh man, like no time. If they go, oh man, I just don't have time. No, I just don't have time. That's somebody is saying, using time as an excuse, but they're really not interested, period. Okay? Or they might go, I just don't have money for that. No, don't have any money. Somebody that's really interested, but just you truly, they think they don't have the money right now. Feel, felt, found. He goes, hey, you know what? I know exactly how you feel, man. Although I was doing okay, I felt like I was paycheck to paycheck. It felt like I was broke all the time because when I was showing the presentation. But you know what I found out? As I got to know the business a little bit more, I got more information, I realized that it's based on the value of what I want. We can all come up. We're not talking about thousands and thousands or millions of dollars here. We're talking a few $100s. I've come to realize is that depending on the value of what we're going to spend the money, we can come up with that money anytime. Heck, if somebody was to approach me with, a Mercedes-Benz, blah, 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 I used a Mercedes-Benz approach, or find out, he goes, hey, what, if I was to tell you that, hey, you can have this thing, let's say their big desire, they like cars. You can have a Mercedes Benz for $500 if you can come up with it in the next 3 hours. Do you think you can come up with it? Yeah, you betcha. You'll call every soul that you know and say, hey, can I borrow $500? Okay. And so, you felt found, or you use the deal here. This is actually one of the easiest to handle. Okay. Hey, I'm glad that you shared that with me. You validated. But let me ask you a question. If you don't have the money today, why would you allow yourself not to have money a year or two from now? Okay. Or you're basically saying, doesn't it make sense that, why would you keep yourself, if you don't have money now, what really makes you think you're going to have money a year or two from now if you're not doing anything different? Okay. Neutralize it and then counteract. That's why you should really look at this program, because it really help you create more income so that you can have blank your why. Okay, whatever that why is. Okay, again, if you know the why, it's easier to overcome that. Well, I don't know if it works. I've never seen anybody succeed in it. I know this friend of mine that have done it for many years and never made any money, or this guy that just jumped from one opportunity, one business to another, blah, 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 And so here, I hear this all the time, all right? And so one of the things that I do is I focus on, number one, don't generalize it. Just because one person was in this industry doesn't mean, or doesn't mean it's all, that judges everything. Okay, so again, felt found works, or you can use to validate, neutralize and counteract. Hey, I'm glad you shared that with me, but is there a right way to do, let's say, whatever they do, to do engineering and a wrong way? Well, yeah. Well, if the answer should, there's a right way, well, then that's why you should look at this company, because their training program and the support system and the system that we have will teach you how to become successful in it. And if it's really that important to you to see people that are successful, I can introduce you to a lot of people that are very, very successful in this industry. Okay, so again, felt found, the same thing. Hey, I know exactly how you feel. I thought I knew everything about thing about MLM. I don't know anybody that's really made any money on it, and because I felt the same way. When this guy was trying to show me, but what I found out is this: not every company in this industry are the same. Not everybody that joins in will create the same success. Okay, the success is based on the training, your willingness to do the work, and the ability. But believe me, there are successful people in this business or in this industry. Okay, and again, isn't there a right way and a wrong way to do it? Well, obviously, people that aren't making money are doing it the wrong way. All right. Now, don't like to sell. As a matter of fact, sometimes I ask him, he goes to those people, well, yeah, I know this guy. He goes, let me ask you this. How many things has that guy been very successful in? No, you're right. He's a bum. He owes me money and all that. Well, there you go. So why would you judge the success that you'll have in an industry or a business based on a guy that haven't had success? I don't spend too much time doing it. Oh, I don't like to sell. Okay. How many of you really like to sell? I don't. But I don't mind helping people that's on the basis of removing this objection when they say that they don't like sales. Okay? Now, let's be honest. Our business is about sales, but it's not about sales trying to close people and all that. It's really just sharing the product, sharing the opportunity. So, again, felt found works good, or validate, neutralize, and counteract. Let me show you a validate, neutralize, and counteract. Hey, I appreciate you sharing that with me, but we aren't looking for salespeople. Do you like to help people? Do you like to share new ideas? Because that's really what we do. It's just we just share. That is what we do. Why you should look at this company, because it radically change your mindset on what you do in your life. And now, if I showed you how to share new ideas with others, that'll make you more money. Would that hurt your feelings? Okay. So did I sell? No. Sometimes when people think sales, people think, like car salespeople or telemarketer. We're not about that. We share the opportunity, we share the products, and you know what? And we look for people that are looking for the products and services, and we help them succeed. And that's really what we do. Okay? I spend more time educating people than I do trying to sell a product. The product sells itself. The opportunity sells itself to the right people. Okay? So that's what we do. Feel, felt, found, again, is a great way to do that. Okay. Oh, pyramid scheme. Okay, I don't get this much, and the only people that, again, that say these are usually broke mentality people that have never succeeded in anything a lot of times, or people that really don't understand, or they just hear it. Oh, is that one of those pyramid things? And when they say that, doesn't mean they're saying it's an illegal pyramid. That's what they think network marketing is. Or, oh, is that one of those pyramid things? And and there's a few ways I react to that. So what do you mean by pyramid? Because I want to find out how they think about that. One of those pyramid things. No, tell me, when you say pyramid things, what are you talking about? Oh, when you have, guy on top and a bunch of people underneath selling for them, and they, all the money is made by the guy on top, and people don't make money at the bottom, those kind of things. Well, and then I might go into explaining, pyramid. So let me start with the feel, felt, found, okay? Or let me do the neutralize, validate, neutralize, and counteract. Then I'm going to tell you a little bit more on how I overcome that, okay? To remove an objection, you go say, again, I appreciate you sharing that with me, because I felt the same way, and I know exactly how you feel. But we have great relationships with attorney generals in all 50 states, and the federal government would not permit pyramid to operate. We're not a pyramid scheme or an illegal pyramid, but we're a non-traditional business model. Okay, it's not your typical traditional business model. That's why you should look at the program, because it is a legal program, and that will combine your efforts with the efforts of others to earn your satisfactory income. All right. Now, I might take that to another level and say, first of all, let's talk about a pyramid. You think, pyramid scheme. Well, first of all, and the description of an illegal pyramid is when there's people being expected to make a payment on something, and people are making money and no product is being distributed. Okay, that's an illegal pyramid. Okay, like a Ponzi scheme or something like that. Now we have, this is now, and also to understand, just to help you understand, all structures, solid structures, especially in business, is also in the shape of a pyramid. Let me ask you this, depending on the company that you work with, if you have a lot of people working in your company, would you happen to have a president? And do you think there's a handful of vice presidents? And do you think there's a handful of, regional managers and division managers, and then supervisors, and then, employees? And would you say those employees down at the bottom make as much money as the guy on top, like the president and vice president? No, right? And so it's just a structure, but it's a solid structure. Now, the cool thing about the network marketing industry is that in this system, the person at the bottom that may be starting have an incredible opportunity to outwork and out-earn a lot of people above him in the process. Okay, so you get paid based on your willingness to work and the ability that you learn and have, and as you build your business. Okay, so that's, well, I hear the people that, got on the ground floor, the ones that are always going to make more money. He goes, now, isn't that true in every industry and company? And I think they should be the first ones to generate the most money and income, because they were one of the ones that went through the toughest times of building up the business, right? So, I confirm that, say, hey, but if you're concerned that this is one of those illegal pyramid, then it is not illegal. And a lot of times I hear people say pyramid because that's all they really hear. Oh, one of those pyramid. So just remember, every structure, look at their government. There's one president, a vice president, a bunch of henchmen, and us, okay? Look at your committee, look at your company, look at your organization. It's all in the shape of a pyramid. And if you look at the business pyramid, that's typical. People at the bottom usually make less money than the guys on top. The cool thing about the network marketing industry is that the people getting started right now have an incredible opportunity to make more money than anybody above them if they work hard enough, long enough, and develop a good business. Now, they may not make money as much as the guy at the very top and the guys that started out, but that's well deserved. Okay? That was well deserved. See, that's a professional answer, and that's reality. That's the truth right there. Okay? So So would you rather be in a pyramid where you're stuck at the bottom and you have no ability to make as much money as the guys above you, or very little ability? Or would you like to be in a pyramid structure where if you work harder and better than the next guy, that you can make a lot more money than the people above you? Okay? Well, so that's that. So then the last one is usually, especially from people that have been in the business before and they quit because, bottom line is they don't know who to talk to, or they don't have any leads or contacts. They don't want to talk to friends and family anymore, or they don't know how to generate leads. Okay? That's usually, you goes, hey, I know exactly how you feel. And you goes, hey, remember, I wasn't in sales before, because I felt the same way when I was getting started. But, here's what I found out. There's a certain amount of training. As a matter of fact, with the system that we have access to, there's so many ways that I can learn how to be able to find contacts and leads for this business. And you don't even need to talk to your friends and family if you don't want to. Okay? Now, it helps because you want to notify and you want to make sure that they know you're in the business, but you don't need to, purchase them or anything like that. You just need to let them know, boom, that's it. And then, and share the concept with them and find out if they're looking or not. If they're not, no big deal. Leave them alone so that you don't end up being part of the NFL club. No friends left. But we'll teach you systems. And we have access to an incredible system, a marketing system called NMSS. Of course, I got to give that pitch in there, to where you can learn how to find people not only offline like this, but we'll teach you how to find leads online, on Craigslist. We'll even teach you how to have your own online business and online presence. So wouldn't that be good? Okay. See, I found out a lot of people fail in the past or have not been able to successful is because they were typically only taught one or two ways to do it, and they were never given the right guidance to learn how to generate leads in so many different ways. And I'll ask them a little bit about their background. He goes, how many ways were you taught to find leads? Okay, and then so I would say, well, did you know that you can put ads on certain places and where you can do that? Did you know that you can buy leads of people that are already looking for opportunity? Would you be willing to talk to those? How about people that even if they're not interested in your business right now, in this business, but you still make money on them anyway because you give them something that helps them in their business, and you happen to generate additional income with that. Okay, and what if do you like doing things on Facebook? Well, great. Well, what if I can show you how you can find 10-20 prospects a day, a week in Facebook? Okay, how to connect with a lot of people on Facebook using the internet. And, do you like Twitter? Do you like online stuff? Do you like to blog and do you like to write? Well, do you know that you can generate, a lot of people generate a lot of income and build a network marketing business from blogging and also from online systems? Do you know that do you know that there's tools that you can literally press a button and it will search out the prospects for you online, and you'll have access to people that be open to looking at your opportunity? So things like that. See, most people that's been in the business before just don't know those things and training are available. Okay, so they quit and they think they're gonna have to talk to other people, to a bunch of their friends and relatives again. No, we just need to show them that there are other training, and that's what NMSS system is about too. Okay, so anyway, those are the 7 most common objections that most people give. Outside of that, there really isn't much. They might have some questions about your products and services. That's up to you to how to answer that. And hopefully you figure out and you educate yourself on how to answer those questions about your certain products and services. Okay? But obviously, our business is about the opportunity, and we're looking for team players. So, bottom line, you guys, is just go out and do it. This is the end of the whole. This is a long training session here for all the offline traditional marketing, but I wanted to go through a complete process here, and it's still not complete because it'll take hours and hours. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of articles that'll help you in prospecting in our system right here. Just click on the link on this page that you'll see to take you to the resource page, where you'll if you're a paid member, where you'll get a chance to see all the articles and tips on how to go out there and prospect, how to find the right people for your business, offline, hybrid, and online. Okay, so just go out there and start doing it. Don't worry if you screw it up. There are millions of prospects out there. Okay, the more you do it, the better you get. The better you get, the higher caliber people you'll get. Remember, prospecting and sponsoring is the highest paid money making activity you can spend your time in. And follow up. Okay, obviously follow up is really the main thing there. You ultimately want to get to a point to where you're prospecting and sponsoring has come so easy to where the rest of the time that you spend is really more on following up with people. That's why we created a system with NMSS, is that it automates a lot of that. People can just, you can just send links and people will get a chance to see the presentation, answer some of their most common questions, and by the time you talk to them, you're just doing a follow-up to see if they're ready to get signed up and answer some questions for them. And really that's the idea, okay? But make sure that you still make time to learn how to integrate some of the hybrid strategies, offline, online tools, and online marketing strategies. Because ultimately, you want to learn that. You're gonna have if you're good with people and your strength is with offline marketing, I commend you. You can be one of the fastest growers. But make sure that you get excited and understand how to utilize some of the online. You don't need to know everything. As a matter of fact, if you're not you're not really good at all of online stuff, well, there's simple tools that you can use, basically push button tools that you can use or websites you can go to that'll help you generate business. But as soon as you start generating income, invest into having somebody pay you, what we call outsourcing. Pay somebody to build a web presence for you and help you build your presence online, because you'd want to start generating leads online also, because again, leads can be generated online. Building it is going to be based on your personality and offline strategy too. Okay, you guys, hopefully that helps. That's your offline and offline traditional marketing approach to MLM. Again, still one of the fastest way to sponsor people, generate customers, and generate income immediately. Go out there and do it, you guys. Congratulations. Welcome to the network marketing world. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.